Hello students, let us begin with our first story, An Astrologer's Day. As we are going to begin with the story, I want that all of you should have your books open in front of you because we will be looking into the book and also trying to understand the story. So we will be doing two things simultaneously. We have already noted that An Astrologer's Day is one of the very famous short stories by R.K. Narayan. The story begins with the character that comes to us in the very first line. Punctually at midday, he opened his bag and spread out his professional equipment, which consisted of a dozen cowrie shells, a square piece of cloth with obscure mystic charts on it, a notebook, and a bundle of Palmyra writing. His forehead was resplendent with sacred ash and vermilion, and his eyes sparkled with a sharp, abnormal gleam, which was really an outcome of a continual searching look for customers, but which his simple clients took to be a prophetic light and felt comforted. The story begins, and in the first 5 lines, the writer describes us the protagonist or the hero as he. And in the first initial lines, the writer has described his belongings. So the man is important and his belongings are equally important. So this man has a bag with professional equipments. He has a dozen cowrie shapes. He has a square piece of cloth. He has a notebook. He has a bundle of Palmyra writing. So the protagonist, the hero, the main character of the story has all these characteristic belongings that he carries every day. As we move ahead, we come across the writer saying something about the man. His forehead was resplendent with sacred ash and vermilion, and his eyes sparkled with a sharp, abnormal gleam, which was really an outcome of a continual searching look for customers, but which his simple clients took to be a prophetic light and felt comforted. The power of his eyes was considerably enhanced by their position placed as they were between the painted forehead and the dark whiskers which streamed down his cheeks. Even a half-wit's eyes would sparkle in such a setting. To crown the effect, he wound a saffron-colored turban around his head. His color scheme never failed. People were attracted to him as bees are attracted to Cosmos or Dahlia stacks. He sat under the boughs of a spreading tamarind tree, which flanked a path running through the town hall park. The writer has introduced us the protagonist he. How is he? His head, his forehead is resplendent with ash and with vermilion. His eyes sparkled with a sharp abnormal gleam. He is continually searching for customers. His eyes appear to be very powerful. He has dark whiskers. he also has a saffron colored turban. And most importantly, people are attracted to him like bees to the flowers. Just as the title suggests, the astrologer is the hero. The astrologer is the central character of the story. And this astrologer, these are all the physical peculiarities of the astrologer. We'll just repeat. How does he look? His forehead is resplendent with ash and with vermilion. His eyes, they, they eyes spark with a sharp abnormal gleam. Gleam is shine. So his eyes are sparkling, shining. His eyes are continually searching for customers because he is an astrologer, and so he's always looking for customers. He has powerful eyes. He has dark whiskers. Whiskers are mustaches. And there is also a saffron colored turban over his head. And all these characteristics, they have made him a personality that people are attracted towards him like bees to the flowers. Now, so the astrologer, with all these characteristics, with all his belongings, will just repeat what his belongings are. He has a bag with professional equipments. And what are the professional equipments? A dozen cowrie shells, a square piece of cloth, a notebook, a bundle of Palmyra writing. Now, using all these things, our protagonist, our hero, is occupying a place below a spreading tamarind tree in front of the town hall. And how is the town hall? Now, this town hall also has certain remarkable characteristics. We will read the characteristics in detail. So, he is the astrologer. He sat under the boughs of a spreading tamarind tree which flanked a path running through the town hall park. It was a remarkable place in many ways. A surging crowd, a surging crowd was always moving up and down this narrow road from morning till night. Now the writer is describing a small town in India in late 60s where there used to be a small marketplace in the center of the town, and this was the place that was widely visited by the people, and therefore a variety of trades and occupations was represented all along its way. Medicine sellers, seller of stolen hardware and junk, magicians, and above all, an auctioneer of cheap clothes who created enough din all the day to attract the whole town. Next to him, in vociferousness, came a vendor of fried groundnut who gave his ware a fancy name each day, calling it Bombay ice cream one day, on the next Delhi almond, and on the third Raja's delicacy, and so on and so forth, and people flocked to him. A considerable portion of this crowd dallied before the astrologer too. So this particular paragraph, it describes the typical scene that can be observed uh, at a marketplace in a small town. So there are people who have various trades. These are different professionals or businessmen who are working there. They are the traders, they are the vendors, they are the sailors. The trades and occupations. Trades and व्यवसाय, occupation, व्यवसाय. It was represented all along its way. Now, who are they? They can be the medicine sailors, sailors of stolen hardware and junk, magician, and above all, an auctioneer of cheap clothes. So, cheap clothes are also sold in the market. Junk and hardware things are sold. There is a magician who perform the tricks, and everybody is shouting at the top of his voice. All of you must have seen the vendors, they shouting, Hath Gadi Wala. What do? They just advertise their products by shouting or by calling the names loudly. Now, vociferousness is also being very loud and noisy. So, all of them are shouting, they are talking in a loud voice. So, there is a vendor who sells fried groundnut, and this groundnut is identified by a different name every day. So all these things together, it makes the atmosphere very interesting, very busy also, very noisy also. And to add to the effect, we come across our hero or our central character is also a part of the market. And so we come across a considerable portion of this crowd tallied before the astrologer. The astrologer transacted his business by the light of a flare which crackled and smoked up above the groundnut heap nearby. Now the astrologer sits just beside the groundnut seller, and that is why he uses the same light as is used by the groundnut seller. Half the enchantment of the place was due to the fact that it did not have the benefit of municipal lighting. So those were the days when electricity was not as widely used in India, and that is why very few lights are available, and there was hardly any light, means there was no municipal lighting facility available, and that is why the groundnut seller has his lamp, and the astrologer used to function or used to work in the same dim light in the late evening. The place was lit by shop lights. One or two had hissing gas lights. Hissing is the sound of the light. Hissing gas lights. Some had naked flares stuck on poles. Some were lit up by the old cycle lamps, and one or two, like the astrologer, managed without lights of their own. So this was the situation late in the evening when there was no sunlight, or when the sun sets and the darkness sets in. All these people, they had the habit of functioning or working or selling their products or discharging their business during the dim light of the small lanterns. But our astrologer was a man who found that it was a very suitable position for him. So this suited the astrologer very well, for the simple reason that he had not the least intended to be an astrologer when he began life, and he knew no more of what was going to happen to others than he knew what was going to happen to himself next minute. Now, the protagonist of our story, or the main character of our story, the astrologer, he was not disturbed by all these things around him. The first and foremost thing is that he had not in the least intended to be an astrologer. He never wanted to be an astrologer. Although today he is working as an astrologer, he never wanted to be an astrologer, because it was very clear to him that he does not know anything what was going to happen to others than he knew what was going to happen to himself. So he was actually equally ignorant about the future. But he has become an astrologer. The writer further says he was as much a stranger to the stars as were his innocent customers. Yet he said things which pleased and astonished everyone. That was more a matter of study, practice, and shrewd guesswork. All the same, it was as much an honest man's labor as any other, and he deserved the wages he carried home at the end of the day. So, so let us have a recap of what we have read just now. The astrologers present. How is the present? The crowd dallied before him. Most of the people, they spend their time in front of the astrologer. The astrologer transacted his business in dim light that made it more magical. Bewildering crisscross of light. He functioned in the dim light and it added to the bewilderment or surprise element of his business. He did not wanted to be an astrologer, yet he pleased and astonished his innocent customers. Whatever he said, it was more a matter of study, practice, and shrewd guesswork. But it was an honest man's working, and he was working very hard. He had a very sharp perception, and this is how the present of the astrologer is. The present situation of the astrologer, that he sat in front of the town hall and he worked and he tried to attend his innocent customers. And how did he talk to them? He talked to them in a very pleasing and astonishing manner.